Welcome to the Game 1 3-inning broadcast of the World Series. It is between the Chicago Cubs winning the first NL pennant since 1945 and the Cleveland Indians making their first return to the World Series since 1997. The game is just about to begin, so while we're waiting, I am going to go over the starting lineup for the visiting Chicago Cubs. Leading off in center field, you have number 24, Dexter Fowler. Batting second, and at third base, number 17, Chris Bryant. Batting third at first, number 44, Anthony Rizzo. In the cleanup spot, you have left fielder Ben Zobrist. Batting fifth and making his return to the Cubs lineup, DHing Kyle Schwarber. Batting sixth at second base, Javier Baez. Batting seventh and in right field, Chris Coghlan. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Addison Russell. And batting ninth and catching, David Ross. Pitching today for the Cleveland Indians is the ace, Corey Kluber, who comes into this game with a sold-out crowd at Progressive Field. 35,225 fans have packed into Progressive Field for Game 1 of the World Series. And it is a beautiful pitching matchup between Corey Kluber and Jon Lester. We come into this game with two of the best hot pitchers in baseball. And as you know, Kyle Schwarber makes his return to the Cubs lineup after missing 159 games this season. He tore his ACL in the third game of the year. So he went 0 for 4 until he suffered the injury. But in the 2015 playoffs, in 9 games, Schwarber batted .333 with 5 home runs and 8 RBIs in just 27 at-bats. Kyle Schwarber is already the Cubs' all-time leader in home runs in the playoffs. And I'm sure every Cubs fan can't wait to see this guy take a couple swings tonight. I'm only doing the first 3 innings of this broadcast just because I want to keep it short for you guys, and I want to hear some criticism and feedback of this broadcast. So while we're waiting for first pitch, I would like to also go over the Indians starting lineup. And that will consist of leading off and playing center field, number 20, Rajai Davis. Batting second and playing second base, number 22, Jason Kipnis. Batting third is the shortstop, Francisco Lindor, the hero of the Indians. Batting cleanup, first base, Mike Napoli. In the 5 spot, you have the DH, Carlos Santana. Batting sixth is the third baseman, Jose Ramirez. In 7th, left fielder, Brandon Guyer. Eighth is right fielder, Lonnie Chisenhall. And 9th is the catcher, Roberto Perez. What happened the last time the Indians won the World Series? If you're wondering, the president was Teddy Roosevelt and Harry Truman. As the Cubs and Indians made their last World Series runs. And also the well-known NBA was not formed yet, which is kind of hard to believe as the NBA is entering its 71st season. They were not a thing yet when the last time the Cubs made it to the World Series. Like I said, this game features a game between Jon Lester and Corey Kluber. Kluber coming off of a masterful performance against the Toronto Blue Jays, in which he pitched twice in that series. The first game going 6 1/3, no earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts in a 2-0 win in Game 1. And then in Game 4, he went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And they ended up losing that game 5-1. But in the playoffs so far for Kluber, he is 2-1 with a .98 ERA, a 1.09 WHIP in 18 and a third innings pitched, and opponents are only hitting 197 off of Kluber. Kluber, the 6'4", 215-pound right-hander out of Birmingham, Alabama, in his 6th year out of Stetson University, where he is 30 years old now, born on April 10th of 86. He throws right, bats right. He won't bat tonight, though, as the DHs are in play due to this being in an American League ballpark. We are still waiting for first pitch, about 2 minutes away now. And while we are waiting, I will take a short break. We will be right back to this 3-inning broadcast with the first pitch being delivered by Corey Kluber to Dexter Fowler. And we are back to the Game 1 broadcast of the World Series. Big news, the big stories of this game. Kyle Schwarber